Can you smell the perfect blend of cinnamon and fresh bread? Can you see the hot caramel glaze dripping down my side, just waiting to be eaten? Can you taste the sweetness of the brown sugar and butter and the softness of my layers melting in your mouth, tantalizing your taste buds and waiting to eat it? You can't resist me. No one can. I am the caramel roll. If you are like me and the majority of other people with a sweet tooth, your mouth is probably watering right now. Hi, I'm Amy Stroud, and as the mother of four, 3 of them grown boys, I have been making and baking caramel rolls for the past 25 years. I'm going to show you the simple steps I have come up with through trial and error to making the best caramel rolls you'll ever eat. Since most people probably have never made caramel rolls, I will demonstrate each of the steps for you. Let's start out with purchasing a bread maker. Consumer Reports rates the Sunbeam model number 5891 as the best budget bread maker you can buy. This bread maker is under $60 and can be purchased at a local retailer such as Walmart. And actually, that is the bread maker we will be using today when we make our caramel rolls. Now that you know that the first step is to buy a bread maker, this leads to the next step, which is measuring our ingredients. Measuring ingredients is simple. We'll start out with 3 cups of our bread flour. We're going to add 3½ tablespoons of sugar to the top. Then we'll take our pan out of the bread maker and we will put a 1 cup of warm milk that has been warmed in the microwave for 1.5 minutes into the bottom of the bread maker. We're going to add our egg, 1 egg, to that, and we'll pour our dry ingredients over the top. Now I'm going to just tap the sides so that we can even out the dry mix so it looks like this. Okay? And then we're going to add our 3½ tablespoons of butter. Now as you can see, I've cut them into little squares and I'm going to place them into each corner of the bread maker. Okay? We also need to add 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. What I do is I just use a spoon and make a small little pocket inside my flour mix, and I'm going to add the yeast right to that. Now it's ready to go into our bread maker, and I will put it in, lock it in place, and I'm going to set it to the dough setting, which is number 8 on this particular model, and push start. Since the bread maker is doing the work for us by making the dough, we can move on to preparing the caramel. The recipe I like to use is from the 1989 version of the Pillsbury Cookbook. It's on page 84 and page 85. In it, we'll find that the recipe for making caramel is just 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of light corn syrup, and 1/2 cup of butter. We'll mix that together, and before we put it into our pan, we'll want to use some cooking spray to make sure it doesn't have any trouble coming out of the pan later. Now I've already prepared that, and I have it in the pan here, so you can see it's just spread out fairly evenly. The dough is prepared, and the caramel is ready. Now we can roll out our dough. As you can see, I've also prepared that in advance for us. You'll just want to roll it out to approximately 9 by 13 size, just real simple. And then we're going to want to spread some butter over the top. And it doesn't matter how much, just enough to kind of cover it like you would a sandwich or, anything like that. Then you're going to take some cinnamon sugar and sprinkle it over the top, just like so. Okay? And one little trick that I like to do that makes it taste even sweeter is I like to add just some brown sugar to the top of that as well. So I sprinkle that on top. And then I just kind of mix it all together nice and evenly. And then we're going to roll it up. So we'll just take our corners and we'll roll it up quickly so that it's just a nice round tube looking piece of dough. Okay, now we need to cut it to be able to put it into our pan. And we'll want it fairly even. We want it into 12 pieces. So the easiest way to do that is by folding it in half first, and then we'll take a knife and cut it in half. Okay, so I have 2 parts. Now I'm going to cut that in half again. Okay, and then I'll cut this other piece in half as well. Okay, now I have 4 equal parts, and I'll just cut each of them into 3s. And I will place them into our pan like so that we have fairly equal pieces that will go into our pan for baking our rolls. Just like this. Okay? After this step comes the hard part, and that's waiting. Perfection requires patience. We need to wait for our rolls to rise till they're about double in size. So now would be the perfect time to preheat your oven to the perfect temperature of 350 degrees. Once the dough has risen to approximately like this, double in size, we can place it in our preheated oven of 350 degrees. And we'll wait about 20 to 25 minutes or until they're golden brown. Today I have shown you the simple steps to making, through trial and error, caramel rolls, the best ones you'll have ever had. We have purchased our bread maker, which Consumer Reports rated to be the best budget bread maker. We have put the ingredients into it. We've made our caramel and we've made our rolls. We've allowed them to rise and we put them in our oven and baked them at 350 degrees. Perfection is worth waiting for, and caramel rolls are no different. See? Now who wants a caramel roll?
Me.